This is Dr. Carroll, and this video is about Java scanner objects. So let's first start about how do we let the compiler know the definition of the scanner class. As mentioned in another video, we use the keyword import and then the package name and then period and then the class name. So java.util.scanner semicolon. We have to have that all the time, that in every file that we need to have access to a scanner object. So we need to let the compiler know about this class definition because we didn't write it, so we need to import it in. And so now we need to, so let's just create a class and a main just to structure it. So we need to declare a scanner variable. We do that with the data type scanner here. We declare it, and then we give it, now we need a variable to provide a reference to this scanner object. And so we'll call it standard in scanner. And so right now, this reference has a null value. So let's create a scanner object. And we need to make a semicolon here to complete the Java statement. So now that we've declared it, it's referencing null. It's not referencing an object. So we need to create a new scanner object. So we do that by having the assignment operator calling new, which we'll call the scanner's constructor. And we need to pass in what stream we want to scan from. And for many of the streams we're going to scan from is going to be the keyboard or standard in. And so we use system.in from the system package. In is what is referred to as standard in, and so it's where the keyboard object is. And so this creates a new object for us of type scanner class. And notice that there's parentheses, so we're calling a method, and we're passing in system.in. Then don't forget our semicolon. We need some variables here to work with. So let's look, now that we've declared one, let's look at the scanner documentation and look at some different things here. So I've already pulled it up. Okay, it's oracle.com, and it's in the Java.base module and the java.util package, and then we have the scanner class. And so here we have java.lang.object, and then right under that scanner class. And so it has a description here which is worth reading when you're not watching this video. And I mentioned constructors, and so what I want you to know for now is that there are several constructors. We're using this constructor here where we're passing it something of type input stream from the class java.io, but you can see you can pass it a string, you can pass it a path, you can pass it all these different things. Now look at all these methods here. We can specify what the delimiter is. We can call hasNext, which is going to return true if the scanner has another token in its input. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And we can say, well, does it have next? Does it have a Boolean value, or is the next thing it's ready to read? Is it a double, or is it an int, or is it a line? And so you'll use hasNext to make robust programs. The methods that you'll use the very most are next, or next double, or next int, next line, along those lines to be able to, let's go to next here. So next returns a string. It's public, meaning we can call it, and so it's going to get the next token and return it. Okay, so let's see more about that. Okay, let's continue our example here. So we want to prompt the user to let them know what we're expecting, so what the program is expecting. So let's say, hello, what's your name? And so we are going to want to store this in the string name, so we're going to assign it. We're going to call our scanner, the reference to our scanner object, standard in scanner here. And when we're calling a method, we use the dot operator, and we're going to use next here. And we're calling a method, so we have parentheses, and then we have a semicolon. And so this is calling the method next on this object, which is associated with this string, and we're going to get the next token off of that string. And then we can echo it and say, oh, that's a great name. It's not, maybe they've had a hard day, so we'll be positive here. And then we could prompt the user again, what method were you born, and we could call it again, and so then next is going to get the next token, assuming it's there. If not, if nothing's there, it's just going to sit there and wait patiently until it gets the token and reads it in. And so it waits until we hit the enter key. Okay, and then we can echo that back out and say that's a great month to be born. Or we could even prompt them again, what's your favorite number? And so we can store that number. So we've done 2 strings, so let's do a number here, but wait a second. String, or next is returning of string type, so we can't use next there, but we do need something. So we could use next int though and call that method on our scanner object here. And don't forget the semicolon. And just to show that things are working, we can call system.out.println and display the number that we read in, and that's a great number. Okay, now let's execute it. Okay, I'm going to execute this one in a terminal just to give you a different view here. And so to execute it, what we need to do is we need to call the Java compiler explicitly on the file name. So, oh good, no compiler errors. I love it when that happens. And then we are going to execute it by calling Java, and notice there's no extension here. And so when we do that, it says, hello, what is your name? So we could reply, Dr. C. Doctor is a great name. What month were you born? Well, okay, let's say August. What's your favorite number? 42 is a good number. Great, 42 is a great number. And all works beautifully. Now, let's run it again and see if we can learn something from this. So, oh, I just compiled it. Let's run it again. So what's your name? What if I said Dr. C? Doctor is a great name. That's funny, it didn't get the C. Oh well, let's keep going. What month were you born? C. Is a great month to be born. What's going on here? If we flip back to the code, what did it do? It called next, and it got that next token, and it got confused here and thought the C was the next thing that it wanted, and now it's waiting for the favorite number. So if I gave it 42, it reads that in. And so let's execute it again. And what if we said Dr. Hiram Carroll? Now what is it going to do? If I can spell my own name. And it's going to tokenize this on white space. So it'll grab this for the first part, it'll grab this for the next part, and then it will grab this for the next part. If I hit enter once, this says, what month were you born? Hiram. That's a great month to be born. I don't know what calendar it thinks it's using. But then notice what happens. What is your favorite number? It threw an exception and it blew up here. And it tells us where it blew up. Trying to call next int from this line of code in line 27. Yep, sure enough, that's line 27. And so we need to be careful that it matches up what type we're trying to use so that it works well. And so alternatively, if we ran it again here, and notice we could say, what month were you born? Let's see, August is the 8th month. It just gets that as a string. Keyboard input is a collection of characters, and so it just got the 8 character and stored it in a string, which is completely, that's a legal character for a string. But let's say we did 3.14159, maybe that's my favorite number. But notice it was expecting an integer, and so it read in the 3, but then saw this period and said, whoa, hold on, I was expecting an integer, and it's throwing an exception and blowing up at us and having a bad day, it looks like. And so we could have called hasNextInt to be able to verify that the next thing is an int to make our code more robust, but I'll leave that to the interested student. Now remember that our scanner object here is an object, and so it has 2 types of data members. It has its methods, which we're calling. It also has the data members. And so one of scanner's data values is the read position in that stream. So internally, sometimes it reads in more characters than what it uses to optimize reads and to know that it's read everything in. And so this has some ramifications. So what it means is we should only use 1 scanner object per stream. And usually you're only dealing with 1 stream, so you can think of it as 1 scanner object per program. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit more. So having multiple scanner objects reading in the same input stream can cause problems because one of them, let's say you have 2, or because I've got only 2 hands here, one of them reads ahead, but then the other one is called somewhere else and it tries to read, it's reading the wrong place. The first one has already consumed that. So if we have 2 objects, one of the scanner objects could consume what was on the stream. The stream is just flowing and you consume it, and it remembers that, but the other one didn't remember that, and it tries to read it, and it can make it crash. So a best practice is to create a scanner object in the main method and then pass it as an argument to the other methods that need to use it. That way you only have 1, and so then you can keep track in that stream everything that needs to be called. And even if you have multiple references to the same single scanner object for that stream, every time you call them, it will keep track of its data and everything will work out. So bottom line, 1 scanner object per stream, and that usually means per program. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great time writing code to read in keyboard input.